Welcome to SGL Spiritual Guiding Light. Listener, I want to talk about the King of Pentacles. Alright? Reason why I want to talk about the King of Pentacles with you, okay, is because it's very significant right now. Now, mind you, this is not a next 72. What this pre-recording is being released about the King of Pentacles is because, let me say this, if you're new to Spiritual Guiding Light SGL, welcome. Okay, for those of you who have already become you guys know I talk incomplete sentences. Moving forward, for those of you who have been supporting SGL this far, you guys know how I feel about the King of Pentacles. I have not yet came in contact with a deck that presents the King of Pentacles. Mind you, there's different decks for different meanings. Now, the King of Pentacles that I'm referencing to is your basic beginner tarot King of Pentacles. Okay, the King is outside. Who knows? I mean, he's in the backyard of what? Okay. If I was to be looking out in, it's basically a back view that looks very close. It's an illusion. Okay. But there is no ownership of a castle. There is no ownership of power, authority. All you see is a taker, a false individual, okay, who robs, steals, okay, generational as well, with the vine coming from the other side. Who knows where? You get what I'm saying? But they are experienced here. This is definitely the King of Pentacles is my narcissistic card, okay? That pentacle is a supply. This person is very experienced, okay? When it comes to maintaining, establishing, all right? I should say training for the most part. Yeah, let's say training, you know. And when I say training is because most people who come out of this detrimental experience end up adapting certain traits where your mind plays tricks on you. And it's not that you once you're able, for those of you who are experienced, that once you're able to really get to the core and pull that root, okay, or get rid of those pesticides, whatever it is, it's something that, you know, it's just you gotta get it out in order for it to stop. Like, you know, a rusty pipe, eventually it's gonna keep eating, you know, the pipe away. But for the most part, it contaminates everything else around it. But with metal, you can restore it. Okay, but this King of Pentacles is definitely being tapped into the collective earth, air, fire, and water signs. And listener, there is a group in the collective who are feeling like they're being judged as if they come off as not real, fake. And then you have another cluster, a group that is not afraid to be a rebel, but a rebel in a way of, you know, I work hard for what I have, but what I have was given to me. It wasn't worked for. Okay, these were what you would call your sugar babies. Okay, who need a sugar daddy or a sugar mama. These are what you would call your escorts or your gigolos. You fill in the blank of what you would call them, okay? Because the terms that I'm giving, it kind of seems as if there's sexual connected to it, and that doesn't necessarily have to be, okay? Moving forward, about this King of Pentacles, it's like you can call it out. It's very clear. So if someone is showing you red flags, call it out. Unless you're willing to go through a cycle of unnecessary. All right? Some of us say that we're done with unnecessary until we're done with unnecessary. What number is that going to fall on? I couldn't tell you. Only you could. And majority within the collective, it's not pre-planned. It's that moment where you're like, no, I'm actually done with this repetitive cycle, all right, of dealing with the unnecessary, okay? This King of Pentacles, it comes with the love bombing, all right? This love bombing could be occupying time. This love bombing could be, the material gain, just for the exchange of pleasure. Now, mind you, all of you, it's not attached to sexual pleasure. It's pleasure. It could be someone who brings you coffee every day, knowing you shouldn't be communicating with this person because at any time something could be exposed. What is that should be exposed? I don't know. There's a lot of sneaky behavior going on within the collective earth, air, fire, and water signs. And with that cluster of group, it's being boldly done. Rebel energy. I can't even say it's shadow. I can't say that this cluster within the collective is in shadow energy is because they're showing their true colors unapologetically. All right. There is a group within the collective whom you're unaware of. That's how people look at you, but you are the truth. There is nothing that it seems that you don't have it all, or it seems like you're pretending to be something that you're not, and that's not true. You are being exactly who you are. And you do have the means, but your definition of means is frugal. You're not the show-off type of person. All right? I just wanted to give you a little feel of, how I feel about the King of Pentacles. One day I am going to create my own King of Pentacles. I'm going to create my own King of Pentacles because this particular King of Pentacles is a narcissist. Okay? And this King of Pentacles doesn't necessarily have to be a singular individual. Okay, this can also represent, family, people within places. All right, connections, because you can have connections, and it can have this persona is what I'm trying to say. Can have this persona like it is, and I'm not going to say too good to be true, because too good to be true can be called out. Like I told you about that one cluster, okay? But there is no hidden truth. I mean, it's not hidden, it's being shown unapologetically. And you by free will have the option to follow through. Now, mind you, I need to make this clear that every King of Pentacles does not represent this. I'm talking about the King of Pentacles that represents in the beginner deck. That's how I feel about that King of Pentacles. Okay? And that's just what it is. We're here to disagree, to agree. And I want to know how you feel about the King of Pentacles. You can hit the message button. You can email spiritualguidinglight@gmail.com. All right. And I'm definitely going to go on YouTube when the time permits itself and talk about the King of Pentacles again. Because I really need everyone to be able to grow, learn from each other, because this is not just a safe place. This is a place that we're able to have a support system during each cycle of transformation. All right? Just because everyone's transformation is not going to be the same. All right? Our energies could coexist. Our energies in the collective to the point to where it's like Aquarius can be in Aries' energy. Virgo could be in Taurus's energy, but still in Earth energy. But that is a whole different house. And so I want to encourage you, listener, when you have the time, to start learning your 12 houses so that you can know where those placements are when you do your birth chart, so you can know what's in your houses. All right, and then that will help you out when it comes down to your readings. So, because you could be looking at your zodiac sign, but you're not resonating with the reading because that placement could be somewhere else in your house. For some of you who are just, starting out and you're a reader yourself, don't fright, okay? Don't become overwhelmed. It's all about starting and learning. It doesn't matter what area within New Age or your spiritual practice or whatever it is, you have to start somewhere. And I know that there's quite a few of you who, you want to really flourish in your reading practice. And there's this barrier. It feels more like an obstacle that you are going to get through this. It's just being confident and knowing that you are, and then not thinking about it and living and practicing your tarot or your intuition tarot journey, right? And enjoying it, allowing it to bring joy and happiness, knowing that your gifts will make room for you. All right? And one thing I really, really want to stress is that when you resonate, and it could be a point where you're like, that's the past, I'm not whatever going through that anymore. You have to understand, energies shift, they change all the time, okay? That's why some of the readers are constantly uploading so many readings, because they're just channeling the energies that are surrounding them, are being delivered to them, okay? Some of them pull the energies. So everyone's different. Everyone's experience is different. Everyone's practice is different. And again, I can't stress it enough that if you overcome a challenge or obstacle, and you get to a place where you can kind of become impulsive, right? Understand that the new listeners that come in could just now be walking into that energy, or could be experiencing it at that moment. So I want to say I thank you so much for, listening and supporting, the new listeners, which is very important. We support each other. And so moving forward, I want to be more active here on the podcast as well as on the YouTube. So I want you to go over to the YT and make sure that you go over there and subscribe so that you can be a part of the success of the new channel. All right. Now, if you have not, I have to say this because if you don't know, you won't know. All right. You can become a monthly dedicated supporter as small as 99 cents, no more than $9.99. You're not obligated. Now, if you want to just send a gift via CashApp or PayPal, you can do that as well. And again, all inquiries, email me, all right, at spiritualguidinglight@gmail.com. Now, I'm letting you know now because sometime in the future, I won't be making as much announcements as how I'm doing it now because it's like I'm preparing myself. Okay, I'm preparing myself and I want you to prepare yourself. All right, not only is this a place where you can heal and grow, this is a place where that you can also network with other spiritualists who are in different specialties. All right. So, within this spiritual practice, some of you are definitely trying to figure out what specialties are, what are your gifts, okay? I myself too, me more so, it's like I'm trying to figure out the correct description of the label. I'm trying to find the correct label that describes what it is, what I'm trying to do, and it's a learning process. You know, if I can figure out another way to say it takes one day at a time. All right. And it's like 24 hours. And it feels like, I think for me, bear with me, listener. I think my challenge is when Spirit says, I need you to be still. Now, mine for you, be still means different to a lot of people. My be still means no decisions. It's kind of giving me like, you know how people are in the retrograde, you're not supposed to make decisions? Well, like set yes or no's or doing contracts and things like that. Now, mind you, that's not really my area of knowledge, but I do know a little bit about it and pertaining to the basics when it comes to retrogrades. Okay, and I think it's about at that point of where I kind of just said, you know what, let me go to square one first. Let me start understanding, you know, numerology. And it's just so much information, and you can't get lost when you know kind of what areas that you want to practice in. So, welcome. Just one moment. Just one moment. But moving forward, I always want everyone to know what element they are. So if you're Earth sign, you are Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. All right, Earth signs, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. Water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. All right, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. That's water signs. Fire signs, Aries, Sagittarius, Leo. Aries, Sagittarius, Leo. Who else do I got? Okay, we did Earth, we did water signs, we did fire signs, air signs, and then we have Libra, Gemini, and Aquarius. Air signs, Libra, Gemini, and Aquarius. Right? Those are the 4 elements: earth, water, fire, and air signs. Okay. I believe we are stepping into Virgos. Okay. Don't become overwhelmed, and don't become something that you're not. And just make that very clear. If someone, you don't even have to go out of your way to tell somebody that they're being something that they're not. Believe me, they know. And if they don't know, then you need to literally find out a common ground where they can still be themselves, where you don't feel conflicted, okay, or infiltrated. So, with that being said, listener, don't forget, love is kind, love is gentle, and that is you and I.